Wow, you gotta be kidding me. You've gotta be kidding me.
Stole a run. You have gotta be kidding me. Javi Baez.
Keep going, go.
Ball check away, and now the counter. Here come the Caps. Kuznetsov gets loose. Evgeny coming down the middle, a shot, and it comes in over. He scores! He scores!
And they start with a horrible snap all the way back to the 2-yard line, and the Browns bouncing into the end zone where they wind up with a touchdown. Of all crazy things, you don't go in the playoffs for 18 years, and that is the way it starts in the first 14 seconds.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio, right here in the Municipal Building, 5100 West Library Avenue. Can't believe it's been 14 years, another live show, a little craziness behind the scenes. So we appreciate you all tuning in. Thanks for watching us on Facebook. We can interact with you. We're still around that 7,500 followers on the show, so we appreciate you tuning in each day. Johnny Mariano, Michael Rohde, Jane Leffler's watching, and Chuck Chief McElroy so far. I can see you here, so if you make a comment, even if you talk about my best friend Smoking Jim.
Do you see them when they're sleeping?
Yes.
And they know when you're awake?
Yes, they do. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate your input. We're also on YouTube. I saw our last total was 416. Guess what? I have my phone. I can check it out to see if we're at 417. We're trying to get to 1,000, so all of you 400 plus, tell your friends and family, tune in to YouTube. That's our page with over 1,020 shows now, so we're proud of it. Al Levine, the talking machine, Smoking Jim Frazier, Chip Hayner's here, and Mike Rohde. And we have promos that are coming up in 10 seconds.
This is McKillen with your Bethel Park Minute. The mayor's office is still looking for judges for the holiday lighting contest and nominations. Interested residents can contact Janet Davin at 412-831-6800, extension 211, or jdavin@bethelparkpa.gov. As a reminder, municipal ordinance requires that you park any vehicles off the street during a snow weather event, including cul-de-sacs. This allows for our salt trucks to safely treat and plow your street. Bethel Park thanks you for your cooperation. My name is McKillen, and this has been the Bethel Park Minute.
Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oil's is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. I don't know if the sound, are we back with sound and anything?
Can I just, now, let me get my mic. I guess I mentioned, since they can't hear, switch to YouTube. It doesn't seem to be us. It seems to be something for
on
Facebook.
This is Mike Ragin' Rohde, who's not raging, so we understand
Yet.
you can't hear us. Yeah. What's that? You can sit on that.
No, I'll send the note out to everyone.
You know what it is? You can't hear us, so this is good. It's a timer.
It's
I
on
didn't know if you
YouTube.
wanted
It's working.
Why?
On YouTube, it's working.
He has the time for us.
It ain't cool.
Do you know what he has?
Did we close captioned?
What's the timer on yours say? Do you have it?
I didn't do it yet. I've been working on the audio.
Oh my goodness, we're flying by the seat of our pants. All right, we're on TV. One of the main things, we have sound on TV. So for all you TV people, we have trouble with Facebook because whatever their algorithms and technology, sometimes it doesn't translate to sound. But you can hear me. So thank you for watching our promos. We appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Get your friends to go there. And if you're coming from Facebook, subscribe to that. And we'll get you some good sound. All right. We got a few people watching. Dead and Buried Treasure. That's Eric Sprouse. Joe Mayer. Friends to go there. And if you're coming from Facebook, subscribe to that. We're back. Thank you, Control Room. We got sound, Facebook. If you can hear me, say I hear you. Bull Laura's on, no sound.
Yay!
Ralph Williams, hello, guys. Frank Mana's watching. Chuck McElroy.
Chief.
I was reading his comment. Only sound I get is on BPTV. Keep it on then, Chief. Anthony Veltry's watching. Let's see, who else here? Peggy Rohde's watching. Johnny Mariano. Let's see. Anybody hear us? All right, nobody's saying they can hear us. So.
I think it's not working on Facebook.
Here, let me turn mine on again. Can anybody hear us?
No.
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 We have no sound. All right, Facebook. The pressure's unbelievable. All right, Smoking Jim Frazier. What's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
I got your special
you got
green.
to see Levine.
That's
MBS,
that's your
MBS.
relish.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
that's
sweet
right.
relish.
Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine. I tell you what, man. If you're white, you're all right with me. 18 years old, 6'9" NBA guy, dropped 42 flag for the Dallas Mavericks. You see that? Al Levine, the talking machine. Did your TV pick up ESPN?
No.
That's a bad boy, man. First pick out of Duke, man. Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine. Here's breaking news. I did my journalism. Here's the reason why I think that Phillip Rivers chip came back to the NFL. I don't know if you guys know. No commentator will say that. I had to dig deep on this one. in the NFL, you lose your medical after 5 years.
Smoking
So he
Jim,
gets 5 more
since
years
you don't
now.
know that,
Wait,
I
all
was
10
going
of
to
his
bring that
kids.
up.
Were you? Man, I figured, Machine, I taught you how to dig.
No,
That's for all 10 of his kids.
That's what, yeah. So, one major, when you got kids, he's a grandfather, and his wife probably don't work. So when you
well,
got kids,
Smoking Jim, let
one
me
big medical thing will set
explain
you back.
healthcare. Your grandchildren and children aren't on your healthcare after 26. Like, you don't know that because with your kids, you didn't have healthcare.
Hey, here's a trivia, Al Levine, the talking machine. I don't think anybody will get my trivia. I know you won't. Nobody gets my trivia. Whose record, when Tony Dorsett ran 99 yards for a touchdown, whose record did he break? And I'll give you a hint. The guy was a first-round draft choice and went 6th pick overall. Tony Dorsett went 99 yards. Whose record did he break, Al Levine, the talking machine? Don't trouble yourself, Chip. You'll never get it.
I don't know.
But, hey, Al Levine, the talking machine, I just want to know, why did this man have to wait till he was 65 years old? I don't have no love for the Signettis because his dad, Frank Signetti, didn't give me a scholarship to West Virginia. Put me through all kind of illegal workurs
Well,
when I was in
you
high
know
school.
why? You were crippled.
But Al Levine,
You
the
were a
talking
cripple.
machine, why in the world did Kurt Signetti have to
We're
wait
getting
till he's
some delaying
65
on
to get a
YouTube.
Division I job? This is a guy, he's so good, he got 2 teams in the 12-team BCS. His James Madison team is in it, and the Indiana team. He's the number 1 team in the country. And Kurt Signetti come from a football family I just don't understand. Al Levine, the talking machine. And I guess I was right. I said Micah Parsons won't be able to help Green Bay this year in the playoffs. And I guess I was right, Al Levine, the talking machine. What a terrible trade. What a horrible trade.
Well, I have to always clear.
188 million guaranteed.
There's no. He's not a positive guy.
Some of that money go to
He's-
the United Negro College Fund.
Do you donate
Mind is
to
a
him?
terrible thing to waste.
Smoking Jim, do
I
you,
lost their address.
okay, Paul Haley said the audio's working on FB, so we're good. Peggy Rohde said sound on at Facebook. I'm glad you can all hear me because hopefully you didn't hear Smoking Jim
think
talking
it's
about
OJ.
health care and the
I think it's
NAACP.
OJ.
All right. Just ignore
Dale
Smoking
Sayers.
Jim. We're done with him for a while.
Nope.
Chip Hayner, what's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind? Well, happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. It's my last show before the holidays. And lots of health and good cheer for everybody. What's on my mind?
Yeah.
Strangely quiet from the Fire Tomlin crowd over the last 2 weeks. Strangely quiet. Social media,
Chip.
I'm hearing crickets.
Chip, they were too cold.
Oh, you know,
Like Miami, they were too cold.
and they're just lying in wait to show their hind ends again, and that'll happen as soon as we go behind the Detroit Lions this Sunday. But Smoking Jim's got the in for us because the curse of Bobby Lane is going to follow the Lions to wherever they play the Steelers. And I'll give you an interesting statistic later after my trivia about Bobby Lane. When he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so we got that. But another
What's
thing,
that bar near you up there?
Dante's,
Dante's.
up in Brentwood.
I remember drinking there after hours.
He and Ernie Stoutner used to close it on Saturday night and open it on Sunday morning by never leaving. They'd leave 3 hours before the game. Get on to Pitt Stadium, put on their pads.
See, I know those stories because I saw them there.
Yeah. Well, it was less than a mile from my house.
Yeah.
So
A friend of mine from Baldwin took me there.
my dad had an office 5 doors down, and stories are legendary. Stories are legendary. But there you go. But so the Steelers got themselves in a position where they could potentially win the division, and I was talking to Jim about this just before we went on the air. I'll tell you what, if this Steeler team ends up winning the division, obviously, and would make the playoffs, I would have to say it's probably one of Tomlin's best coaching jobs ever, considering the team that he put together to go into the season with and all of the flaws that it has. Yeah. So, hey, I'm always going to pull for the black and gold. Go Steelers, smack down the Lions. I'd love to see the Ravens lose one, here, either this week or next week, because the trap game for us is not this weekend, but next. Because the Cleveland Browns are a dumpster fire. They're a dog with fleas, and they're the exact kind of team that the Steelers would lose to at the end of a season, when they're in contention for something. So,
Chip, I got a point. Will Myles Garrett break the sack total with us?
Well, I don't know if he gets what I understand, what has been told to the defensive lineman, and this could be true and it could be false.
Yeah.
That take the penalty. don't let him get the sack. Hold him, tackle him, do whatever you have to do, but don't let him get the record against Pittsburgh.
I like that. You heard it here on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
I just want to ask Mike. Mike, did you hear my trivia?
From earlier tonight?
Yeah.
No, I was doing picking some.
Tony Dorsett had a 99-yard touchdown run
against Minnesota.
Whose record did he break? And the hint is the guy was a first-round draft pick and the 6th pick overall. Chip had a couple good guesses. Gale Sears and O.J. Simpson.
My last one would
wrong.
be Peyton.
Don't know.
Walter Payton.
No.
That I don't know.
I don't know either.
Pony Express?
Huh? Close.
Hey, can I move on to the next segment?
Go ahead.
Smoking is it
Go
all right?
ahead.
Just asking.
You didn't take a guess.
I said I don't know. Smoking Jim Frazier at Cal U. Oh, he was crippled. Mike Rohde, what's on your mind besides the control room?
Besides the control room. I want to raise now, by the way. I've been promoted
I'm going to double your pay.
Co-host /
whatever you've been getting, I'm doubling
consultant.
it. Peggy and Nick, I'm doubling his pay now.
Hey, I know.
Because I give him credit helping his son Marco.
Listen, I know why. Here's my theory as to why nobody was booing them during a very boo-worthy first half.
Yeah.
You had a JV squad in the audience last night. I looked yesterday in Ticketmaster. Those tickets were going for $30 a piece.
Really?
I saw on Amazon or Facebook Marketplace they were going for nothing.
Really?
Come and pick it up at my house. They're yours.
No
Are you
way.
So
serious?
what you had there last night was a preseason crowd, and all the
Wow.
season ticket holders give away all their tickets to all their neighbors.
Yeah.
So that's my theory why you didn't hear it.
That is the
because
best point ever on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
You had a very,
Mike Rohde.
very boo-worthy performance in the first half.
Yeah.
But hey, look, Jim, who'd have thunk the way to right the ship was to bring on even more has-beens? Who'd have thunk it? Or maybe swap out your first level of has-beens to bring in different has-beens. Bring in Asante Samuel, get rid of Darius Slay.
He had an interception.
Bring in these two receivers who somehow, even though they're not doing anything as far as catching passes, outside of, what's his name, catching the touchdown, that was nice to see last night.
Yeah.
Hey, Alan Lazard
requested
his release from the Jets today.
I can't wait to
Looking
get
like
him.
it could be a family reunion now.
Yeah.
I love him.
Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
they're all going to be here. Hey, why not?
Yeah.
Listen, sometimes crazy things just have to happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, your left tackle goes down with a concussion and the guy they bring in plays infinitely better. Sometimes weird things like that have to click in order for you to make a little run
I
down
noticed,
the stretch.
when I noticed there's a guy named Cook, and he didn't let anybody get past him.
Yeah.
And how did it take almost 6 years to find this no-name?
here's
That's
the
kind
bigger-
of
All right,
my,
wait,
that's kind of
Chip
my
can
point.
answer.
Go ahead.
How did they stop the run without their best defensive player in the game, or even in uniform?
And that leads on to my second point about this. This is one good thing that they've got going for them, is that unlike the last I don't even know how many years, in December when they fell off a cliff.
6 years.
They seem to be ascending now, right? Everybody who, like Patrick Queen, I was ready to call him the biggest bust signing
see the hits he
in the
was
history.
making.
That guy in the last couple of weeks has been all over the field and has been a menace, been a demon. Little things like having to move, change around your safety position completely have swapped out. Jalen Ramsey is playing some mean safety right now.
Yeah.
You know, they're blitzing him. Notice how nobody's thrown over the middle of the field, really, to these guys since they put these safeties back there. So it's just little tiny things. Now, let's face reality, okay?
I was waiting for that.
We played against a complete fraud team, okay? The only reason that team had started winning was because they said Tua don't throw the ball anymore.
They're an NFL football
As
team.
soon
I
as
disagree
Tua
with
has to
that.
start throwing the ball, they're not that good. I don't take that away from them. Win is a win. You can't help what's on your schedule. But I think the real test is going to be what's coming on Sunday, right?
We need Chip's. We need Chip's counterpoint. Though,
And I don't think that the Detroit Lions are as big of a test as everyone's making them out to be. I think the Detroit Lions are on the decline after 3 years of rising, and I think age and the way the NFL is. Notice what happens when you have success. They rob your coaching staff. They rob your star players. Yeah. They take it. So what ends up happening is the team that was hot the last couple of years, their offensive coordinators now got the Chicago Bears at the top of the division.
Yeah.
You know,
who would think Caleb Williams would be good?
And the Detroit Lions, even though the Steelers could lose to any team they play, they've proven that already.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers have just as good a chance of beating them as anybody.
I'm hoping that they're
back.
I don't really have a counterpoint per se, but I hope that they are still a pretty good challenge, because if not, what are we doing here? Because if we end the season on a roll, let's say even go 10-7, guess who's coming to town? It's going to be the wild card Bills.
Yeah.
Who look to be about maybe not the wild card Bills, the way maybe they'll flip it around. They crazier things have happened. My point is, there's going to be a pretty darn good team coming to Pittsburgh. I get it. I know that.
I don't know if anybody's coming to Pittsburgh.
Well, if they get in, you know what I mean.
They'll be
playing it out.
Yeah.
They win the division.
I'm just saying that whoever comes is going to be pretty good. It's a very top-heavy league.
Yeah.
Right now. So you've got.
So would you like to see them play? If you
who would I like to see them play? Probably.
Tell you who I'd like to not see them play. It's the Denver Broncos.
Let's assume the Steelers win the division. They get a home team, home game. Their opponent is going to be Buffalo or New England.
Yeah.
Or the Chargers. Maybe the Texans. It all depends on who Jacksonville. It all depends.
I don't know.
Again, it's going to be whoever doesn't
division.
win their division. Remember, it's going to be a wild.
Jacksonville's going to win their division.
Are they?
But potentially
right now
pretty good.
No,
you make good points.
So we'll see what happens. Hey man, I want them to win. I'm back into being emotionally invested,
You're attached
unlike
again.
I was, and I figured why not.
Yeah.
So it was a good game. It was a good showing. But the key in my mind is they are on what appears to be the significant upswing. And
Use
weird
that
kind
word
of things,
ascending
weird
for
things
Smoking
are,
Jim.
but weird
Ascending.
things are happening for them right now that seem to be clicking.
But here's
So,
my counterpoint
we'll
to what you were saying. If the Steelers make the playoffs, win the division, whoever they're going to be playing is a pretty good team. And if the Steelers win out, I'm going to say this. The Steelers are going to be a pretty good team,
That's
too.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what Mike
I mean,
says.
if the Steelers
we
win
have
out,
an
they're probably
agreement
going to be the one
They're
team
on the
nobody
way
wants
up.
to play.
They seem to be ascending. All I'm saying is I'll be more convinced if they handle Detroit, right? If they don't, in my mind, it was they got lucky against the Ravens and they beat a bad Miami team. But if they handle the Lions, that shows to me that they are truly ascending, and then I'll be on board with you. I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're a slightly above average team.
Yeah.
That still has a little bit more to prove. But I'd like to see them make a show of it these last couple of games, or we're going to be back to 9-8 and 1 and out in the playoffs.
Well, I predicted 9-8 because I didn't know what to believe because we had so many unknowns. And who would think that Aaron Rodgers can still throw and even a little run after he turned?
Yeah, I told
Or even learn to run after 42. You didn't tell me that
good
because he
point,
couldn't
good
move.
point.
He's still got some
He
gas
never
in that
thought
arm,
he'd
doesn't
he never thought he'd have to get he'd be chased after he turned 42.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. He's running to save
Thanks,
his
Mike.
life.
Hey, I appreciate this discussion by Chip and Mike, and they had a little disagreement, and they warmed that over. So
Yeah, it's
we
all
got
good.
kumbaya
Different
on the show.
opinion- different
Little
opinions.
kumbaya.
We're entitled to them.
And luckily, nobody agreed with Smoking Jim on what he was saying, and we didn't answer his question. So we'll wait till next week for that answer. Bull Laura
sure if
tuned
he was
in.
the top seed. Wilbert
She said,
Montgomery.
Bull Laura is going to take us down here. Fire Tomlin, he sucks. Paul Haley said, I'm with you, Laura. Bull Laura said, thanks, Paul. Tony from Chick-fil-A. Smoking Jim.
Dickerson.
Who do you think has the best chance to make it to the NCAA football championship final?
Indiana, baby.
All right, that's Smoking Jim. Peggy Rohde. Hi, everyone. What a handsome panel enjoying the show from Rochester, New York. Nick and Peggy Rohde, our biggest fans up there. Hopefully you don't have 2 feet of snow.
I think we got more than they did.
Wow.
When's the Texas-Michigan game? You know I love Texas.
We already changed subjects.
Okay.
Is Arch going pro?
No, he's coming back another
Oh,
year.
because
That's my guy.
before the first game of the year, he'd already won the Heisman. Oops.
That's the first time ever in history I heard a non-starter was in the Heisman.
So he's going to be the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman next year?
No.
Yeah, he got to win it. He got to win it.
Smoking Jim.
Because he
this
ain't
is-
going to win a national
Here's a
championship.
comment for you from Paul Haley. Smoking Jim. Jimmy Jones' curse is still haunting the Cowboys. Or Cryboys, he said, like I say.
Good
Yeah.
point. But they won it with Barry Switzer, though. So that,
Yeah, with Jimmy Johnson's team,
Yeah.
right? Because, you know how Kyle won with Chuck Noll's team, right?
Hey, Bull Laura's tuning in.
Yay!
She said one and done. And she said, listen to Bama Barbie Smoking Jim.
Yes.
That's her nickname.
Yes.
All right, I guess I can go what's on my mind. Last week I told you to bet against Smoking Jim. I was wrong because my opinion was the last time we lost a Monday night football game, the legendary coach was Chuck Noll. So Cowher has won from 92 to his whole regime. Yeah. And Mike Tomlin, they're always bragging about Coach T. He's undefeated in Monday night at home. Yeah. Well, it goes back to 92, so you got to put Cowher into the mix.
Yes, sir.
So I didn't tell him about it. I'm sometimes contrary. I don't know if you know, but I'm positive, but I'm contrary on stats and football teams. And you just watch the game in the cold. You heard all kind of excuses for the cold. Mm-hmm. And I'm there saying both teams play in the cold. How can you make any excuses? One's going to do better, and they did. And look at the first half. Again, Mike, you know what the games have been like since Ben is retired. They're not worth even watching the first half.
But what the Steelers' offensive line, and I think the Steelers' offensive line really stepped up last night, was that they really started pushing Miami's defenders around in the second half. They wore them out.
Oh, there's
that's something that is a Steeler trademark.
But then we've been hearing the last couple of years, like I've watched football my whole life, and they go, you need that score in the last 4 minutes and the first 4 minutes of the second half. Yeah. I only heard that we want to get a score in the second half to start it out and help us to win a game. So now, what did the Steelers do? They're with the new idea. You score before the half, and that's great. Then you score touchdowns 3 more times in the third quarter. And I'm like, what game and what switch went off? Then I've been arguing with different people. In the middle of the third quarter, you can tell when a team gives up. Even Smoking Jim, when he gives up on his humor and, when he tells us to answer his question, he doesn't get back to us. You saw physically and mentally, Miami gave up. Then I can't remember hearing a guy like Troy Aikman go, why are they using up all the time on the clock? They're down, all these points. Why wouldn't they try to do it And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. So then we watch the fourth quarter. Troy's still going. They're running down to the last 10 seconds, 5 seconds. And now it's about 3 minutes to go. And guess what they do? Anybody ever hear you're going to call a timeout and you're losing? Seriously, Chip, maybe you have a counterpoint.
I got nothing for you.
All right,
I'm a conspiracy theorist like you, but you know what? Now with sports betting public and everybody can see what happens, it's always been the same thing. If you've ever watched the Vegas lines, before betting was legal, the same thing's been going on for the last 70 years.
I know. Well, that's why I add my thing. I believe follow the money.
Yeah.
But anyhow, now they start calling a timeout, and even Joe Buck's going like, why are they doing that? Now they get to the 2 minutes.
Over to the heated bench.
Yeah, now, and you bring up a good point. In the first half, that Laura who does announcing, she's good. She goes, yeah, Tua was there, didn't have gloves and wasn't going in the heater the first quarter. Now all of a sudden he's putting gloves on and going to the heater.
His hands are numb.
Yeah. Well, not everybody's as bright as Smoking Jim from Gateway.
So you think he might have CTE already from all his concussions?
No, he's already got an extreme case of CTE. When they told him, you could be permanently brain damaged, he goes, I'll keep playing.
Add another 0 at the end of the check.
Yeah, and they did. So then now you got a timeout or two, and guess what? All of a sudden Tua can throw the ball, they can catch the ball, and they score a touchdown. And I'm like, this is crazy. Then this blew my mind. They're going for 2 points when they're already going to lose the game. And then there's all these conspiracy theories, but I love this one because it's about gambling. Guess what the over and under was on the game? Smoking?
I can't guess that.
You're a gambler.
Well, I only bet winner or loser. I don't bet over and under.
Well, there's people that are smarter than you. 42.5 was the over under.
Where did it come out to?
43.
Can you add 15 and 28? No,
really.
Gateway, he
43.
can't. So guess what? I look at the stats because they show, with gambling being everything about the NFL, they're an $8 billion income with a nonprofit. So imagine.
They're trying like about 14 billion.
Oh, are they up to 14? I was going a couple
they might
years.
even be scratching at 20.
And look at what gambling does. Like, why do you get injury reports from the bookmakers? So over 60% was on the under. So Smoking Jim knows this because he pays more vigorous on bets than anything. They all lost. Over 60% of the people lost. And if people want to dispute it, I agree to disagree.
I keep forgetting about the over and unders.
Yeah. And that just made me think, because why would you even go for 2 points? You already did what they wanted. So is that a cover? Is that a mistake? And then on their first touchdown, they went for 2 points. And they're down all those points. So I don't understand it, but it seems mysterious to me. And the Steelers are in first place, and I'm one of the biggest critics of the Steelers. Whatever they're doing, whether they're lucky, it's fixed, or they're good, go Steelers. Keep winning. Like when they were 11-0, I said that a few years ago. What would you say if they were 5-6? What would you say if we only won 5 games? All right, let's go to Smoking Jim Frazier, 10 seconds.
If you guys are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, it was a Pittsburgh Steelers running back at Pitt Stadium that set the record, 97-yard touchdown before Dorsett broke it. So
John
you guys
Henry
are
Johnson.
Close, but no cigar. L. Levine, the talking machine. I got to apologize to Aaron Rodgers. I've been scouting Aaron Rodgers since he was at University of California. There's not a racist bone in his body. You know, I never seen racism. L. Levine, the talking machine.
How do you spell it?
Hey, Mike, Aaron Rodgers is getting an interview by the Hispanic channel. I don't know what that is, right?
ESPN Deportes.
Yeah, that one there. And all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers says, I want to ask you one thing. Where's my tequila? I'm laughing. I found out later the guy that's interviewing him owns a tequila
distillery.
Yeah, so that's why he said it. I'm like, man, that's kind of racist there. But so I got to give him an apology. Al Levine, the talking machine. I always love Caleb Williams, Al Levine, the talking machine. That's wrong. Hey.
Well, I put it to try to egg you on because you've been so quiet.
Hey, my man's a baseball guy, and I always say, you are what the back of your baseball card says you are. And Al Levine, the talking machine, one more victory for my dream season of 9 wins. Al Levine, the talking machine. I'm going over the top 10 coaches of all time. Don Shula, 328. George Halas, who I think Mike Tomlin's the next George Halas. I think when he retires, he'll get 20% of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Al Levine, the talking machine, you agree with that?
No.
How about Bill Belichick, number 3?
The cheater.
Andy Reid, number 4, Al Levine, the talking machine. Curly Lambeau, number 6, Paul Brown, number 7. Marty Schottenheimer, number 8, Al Levine, the talking machine. Who's 9, Chip?
Chuck Noll.
Chuck Noll is 9, and number 10, Iron Mike Tomlin. You are what the back of your baseball card says you are. He's one of the top 10 that's ever done it.
Thanks, Smokin'. Let's go to Chip Painter and trivia time in 10 seconds.
All right, everybody. So Jim's stumping me on my trivia here, and I'm racking my brain trying to get an idea of who he's talking about. But I'm going to test his knowledge.
Okay.
Okay, because
he's a journalist now.
On a date in Steeler history. It was December 15th, 1985.
I was there.
Okay? And the Pittsburgh Steelers at that time had a record of 7-8. And they were playing a Buffalo Bills team that at that time was 2-13.
Whoa.
Okay? And this could go down possibly as one of the greatest comebacks in Steeler history. The two coaches, Chuck Noll and Hank Bullock. Does anybody have an idea who the starting quarterback was for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I know they were down 20-0.
I will get you the specific stats on that, but
I don't know.
Campbell.
Nice guess. Scott Campbell was the starting quarterback
I
for the
forgot
Pittsburgh
about
Steelers.
him.
Now, on the Steelers,
Smokin', you're good.
on the Steelers quarterback room at that time was none other than Scott Campbell, Mark Malone at the tail end of his
I
career,
remember.
and David Woodley, who
I remember when he was here.
interestingly enough, the year before took the Steelers to the AFC Championship game against a very young Dan Marino.
I remember
and
that.
lost.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was a game where the Steelers were down, I believe, by 21 points, and they.
Way to go, Mike. We got trivia everywhere, to the left of me, to the right of me.
Yeah.
Over to Smokin' Jim.
I just remember that. I remember an announcer saying, it's the first time I'd ever heard the phrase, and it still doesn't make sense to me. An announcer said about the Bills, they need to learn how to win. I'm like, that is such an ambiguously ridiculous statement. How do you learn how to win?
And
You
listen
win or
to
you
the
don't.
names.
We've heard dumb things like that.
Listen to the names of some of the Buffalo Bills defensive players at that time. Jim Haslett,
Yeah.
Bruce Smith, Fred Smerlas, Andre Reed,
Yeah.
Don
Make it up.
Don Wilson. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, you had people like Donnie Shell. Your honorable
Wow, he's still there.
Dwayne Woodruff.
Dwayne Woodruff.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's now a judge.
Keith Gary. David Woodley did play in that game. Gary Dunn. So,
Keith Willis, maybe?
what's up?
Keith Willis, maybe?
I don't. Let me see here.
He's checking.
I remember the Keiths, Keith Gary and Keith Willis.
Yeah,
were
I
defensive
do.
ends.
I remember. I'm going to tell you what. Keith Willis was one of the nicest gentlemen I've ever met. He was a
He
friend.
went to Eastern, right?
He was
College
a
up
friend
in
of
Boston.
Princess. And now Keith Gary was a different problem. That was Keith on the defensive line. He I can tell stories about Keith Gary, but that's not for the airways here. but actually winning this game, I think, enabled the Steelers to make the playoffs that year with a record of 8-8.
They weren't great though.
They weren't great, but you know what? Nobody was calling for anybody to fire Chuck Noll.
No, and look he fell in love with his players and kept them too long. They were legends.
Well, and here's what the thing is that a lot of people don't understand about Chuck
Well,
Noll.
he said, "Who's
is that
Franco?"
when Chuck Noll ran the Steelers, they referred to him as the Emperor.
Yes, sir.
And he built
Thanks to Myron
he
Cope.
built that dynasty of the 70s, okay? And nobody was going to tell him how to run a football team
Yeah.
because he knew it. He knew how to do it better than anybody else. And his pride and his ego may have been a bit of his downfall, in the 80s. And that's really what led to him realizing that, this generation of football players that he was coaching, he wasn't connecting with anymore. And that's why, it made sense to bring in a younger, fiery coach, Bill Cowher, and look what Cowher did through the rest of the 90s.
Who was the two closest coaches close to getting that job in '92?
I forget.
Dave Wanstead,
Oh yeah, I remember.
Defensive line.
Russ Grimm.
Russ Grimm.
Russ Grimm, at 3. Mean Joe Green. Remember
Yeah.
Mean Joe
Oh,
Green?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Then they gave him a job where he didn't have to do nothing for 20 years.
Yeah. Hey, my buddy from KO Machine, St. Michelle and Tony D are in the house. Love Smoking Jim. Kurt Signetti's a jerk. Machine, how can the Steelers let a tech dry needle hit TJ Watt and puncture a lung?
No, who knows?
Butterfingers.
Well,
One thing
I
we
have
don't
a point.
know is
no,
the
I have a
facts.
point on that. I did find out a point. The NFL okayed that for people having muscle soreness. You could do dry needles, and they stab you like acupuncture.
Yeah.
But acupuncture, they've been doing for thousands of years. I know friends. I even had a horse at the Meadows. I go in, and she had hind leg problems. There was a needle with a candle on it, and the vet goes, "Your horse is getting acupuncture." She couldn't race on the track. 2 days later, she's jogging on the track. A week later, she was running and pacing on the track. So if they're doing that with muscles, they said the NFL okayed it, but it's not doctor approved. So if you got somebody like Smoking Jim, and he's poking you with a needle because it's in your shoulder, and he hits the top of your lung, that's what happened.
I'm Dr. J.
Yeah, yeah, we understand. So that's that point. Tony has one final point. Steelers will be ordering pizza like Smoking Jim and 30 other teams during the Super Bowl. Just had to share that. Tony D and St. Michelle, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate that.
So here's the next question I have.
We'll
Anybody
get to you.
catch any of the Dallas game last night? Or the other night?
Yes.
Yeah, I taped it.
Yeah, and
I watched the whole game.
George Pickens, to me, is proving in the last 2 weeks why the Pittsburgh Steelers got rid of him, and it was not a mistake to get rid of him.
Let me co-sign that with Chip. I've been seeing some videos on Instagram, and I watched the game.
He's not showing up for meetings.
Well,
the whole
how about
night.
on the field? There's a ball being thrown. All he had to do is run 2 steps, and instead he was like this, and the ball hits. Then I see him not running out his passes.
Right,
So
and that's how he's going to get a multi-year contract, and
See you in Hawaii. He's a Pro Bowler.
no, well, you know why? He got 1,000 yards. He's going to get a $30 million contract for like 3 years.
So what's he going to do? He's going to go to a beach and play dodgeball. I mean, yeah, he's a Pro Bowler. Please give me a break.
Hey, a couple other people. Bull Laura's here tuned in, and she's an expert on sports and everything. She said Jim left Bill Walsh off the list and Bill Parcells.
Yeah, they don't have as many wins to be in the top 10.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Smoking Jim just threw
But
out your
great
suggestion.
coaches, yeah.
Paul Haley said the same guy who put Jerome Bettis out of the game with a misplaced needle
Remember
and a
that?
muscle
Playoff
before a
game.
playoff game.
Playoff
Paul
game.
Haley, great memory. Thanks for tuning in from South Carolina, a former Bethel Park resident. All right, let's see. What do we got to do? You got the best segment coming up. Mike Raging Roadie for what's he going to rage about? 10 seconds.
Okay, so a couple things, and I'm really going to rehash the past here. Some of my previous
You're going to
statements.
reminisce a little? Okay.
Reminisce, let's go down memory lane a little bit. Some of the insanity that's come out of my brain, I'm going to kind of
Look at
rehash it.
that. Yeah.
The first one is the dearth of quarterbacks in the NFL.
I like that.
Okay, so over at Presby Hospital, pick one, right? If
Yeah.
there's a brain surgery that's needed done,
Yeah.
you have a better chance, far better chance of finding a whole other bunch of brain surgeons locally than you are someone who can play effective quarterback in the NFL. It's unbelievable, and that the NFL has made its really by far most important position so unbelievably difficult to do is amazing to me, because I'm sorry, college, and I know they consider college a nice free minor leagues.
Yeah, it's minor
But
leagues.
they're not developing NFL quarterbacks. They're just not. I mean, it's a completely different game. Look how many guys have come into the NFL and just not been able to do it.
Yeah.
Or guys that you didn't think could come in, and they can do it because you can't get a gauge of them very well in college. So what I'm trying to say is,
Go ahead.
you're not going to make this any easier. And I've said this before. Hey, they had to bring Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
44 years old.
Well, it's for
They had to-
healthcare.
Phillip Rivers. They had to bring this guy in.
Well,
This
the
is
only
what you had to
reason
give.
they did that was to humiliate, what's his name, Cam Newton.
Yeah, to not bring him in.
Because he looks like a clown with those hats on.
Yeah.
He looks like a pimp.
Yeah,
What
but
else?
even look, it pressures guys into staking their career on guys like Tua, right? Do you know what the cap hit is next year if the Dolphins release him?
No.
Cap hit $110 million. Dead money.
Okay, wait
Dead
a minute.
money.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you something. Sean Payton, okay,
Did the same
and
Russell
he
Wilson.
ate $85 million
I agree.
rather than have
Yeah.
Russell Wilson play for him. And what did Russell Wilson do? Proved he couldn't play in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
it's-
Proved he couldn't
It's
play
probably
in New
not
York.
a bad idea there because the guy
No?
can't play.
But so
He might
But-
suck.
but anyway,
sometimes
but-
it's better to.
All right, point well taken.
Point is,
Continue.
My point is, it's too hard to do. I've said this. You have to, in my opinion, you'd have to tweak the NFL. The quarterback situation is not going to resolve itself anytime soon. You have to tweak things. It's just my humble opinion,
Yeah.
just a little bit. All these things about these, they say, false start. Wipe away. Marco knows how crazy this makes me. Wipe away a 50-yard because of a bad formation. Someone lined up a
Right.
foot behind the tackle. Get rid of that nonsense.
Yeah.
Allow there to be at least two. I'm not saying be the CFL or the Arena League, but have two people in motion. Little things like that that'll make playing quarterback a little bit better, because right now, if you lose your quarterback, you have zero chance, unless you're the Eagles a couple of years ago and get lucky.
Yeah.
But besides that, you're dead in the water.
I would have to say that without any question of a doubt, I disagree with that point of view.
All right.
Okay, because I don't think they should make it easier. They've already made the game easier for offensive players. I mean, what are you going to do? Just like have the defenders just stand out there and let people? Well, here I can't play defense against this guy because I got to make the quarterback look good because quarterbacks.
Yeah,
drive
you
this
do.
league.
You know why?
You know how else you
Because
can
it's
make
a
quarterbacks look
quarterback-driven
good?
league.
Put skirts
That's
on
what
them.
pays everything. I don't want to hear that crap about put skirts on them. Any defender that says that should say, guess who pays your paycheck? You know what? No one would be watching this game if it wasn't for the quarterbacks.
They would be.
So they protect. And I don't think so. Because when quarterbacks start going down, people stop watching the game. It gets boring and it gets ridiculous.
All right,
So,
I'll
yes.
I disagree.
Let me
That's all right.
moderate. We have a little compromise. They can argue off the air with our after the show.
No, there's
Pittsburgh
no
Sportsline.
animosity. I just
No, I didn't say
I'm just saying.
there's no animosity
The NFL
here.
has set itself up to be such a quarterback-driven league, which is fine. But don't leave half of your teams without someone capable of winning.
So what you're saying is
Half
that
your teams.
we should dumb it down so that people don't have to try to be their best to be the best.
Oh, they change the rules
You know what I
constantly.
mean?
Give me a
So
break.
the-
Tweak a
so
few more
that's-
things and
that's
make
what-
it
All
better.
right,
It
that's the
should be
second
hard.
chance I
It
gave for
should be
both
hard.
of you. We're moving on, and I got a couple people to shout out to. Jill Mayer Petoniak is watching her son Jake, first time ever on our camera. Thank you, Jake, for coming
right,
in. We
Jake.
appreciate you. Bull Laura's picking on Smoking Jim. Sorry, Jim. Tomlin is not a better coach than Parcells and Walsh.
She's right. She's
Yeah,
right.
but you're talking about winning records.
Just winning record.
Yeah, see, Smoking Jim's so simple. At Gateway, they taught him 0 and 1 equals 1. All right, Paul Haley. Hey, Ragin. Notre Dame called and said, lighten up on them. Roadie, roadie, roadie. Then Paul Haley's on a roll. What about Rodgers standing there watching while the tush push was going down at the goalie? He's done that every time.
He was a decoy.
They're
He
setting
was a
something
decoy.
up. They're setting something up. I'm telling you. All of a sudden, he's going to be standing there, not paying attention, and the ball's going to go right through Hayward, and they're going to go right to Aaron Rodgers and hit a guy for a touchdown. No, he's going to hit a guy for a touchdown. They're not going to see it.
Throw a touchdown
Telling
pass
you,
to a
setting
tight
it up,
end.
saving it for the playoffs.
That is great.
Say that against Baltimore.
Hey,
That's a game
great
they won't
points. We're going to move on to On Location in 10 seconds. You know, we're looking for boxing down the road, and we're looking for other, even being back in bars with me and Smoking Jim interviewing teams. I did speed interviewing of 15 team members on a football team once, plus basketball teams. Smoking Jim did finish the pizza, and we got it all done. And then when we had the talking machine Big Mouth Burger, he did finish that and asked for a round mound of nachos for Smoking Jim. So we have a history with Smoking Jim in the bars and restaurants. Looking for you there, Jill Mayer Petoniak. Thank you for giving Jacob the opportunity. Hey, I asked him when he was on Blackhawk TV, me and Eric Sprouse, he was the play-by-play, and Smoking Jim broke me in on boxing. I'm the color guy. And we had a great time when Peters Township crushed Bethel Park and went on to win another championship. So Jacob is welcome here. I know him as Jake, and he's doing a great job, and he doesn't work for State Farm, for all you kidders. And you're welcome, Jill, and he's welcome back next week. We'll be here next week. Somebody asked, I go, it's only the 23rd. Then somebody said, what about the following week? Well, guess what? That's the 30th, and New Year's Eve is until the next day. And Smoking Jim and I don't drink, so we'll be fine. And we can do an open discussion.
Chip got the trivia.
Well, wait, before that, I got a control room. What kind of time are we looking at?
5 minutes.
Thanks, Marco.
All right.
Chance.
That's what we needed to know. We got Mike on there. We're good. I'm at 755, so we're all correct with that. Smoking Jim, I'll let him speak as long as he's not being negative.
Yeah, Chip got the trivia. Pittsburgh Steeler, first round draft pick, 6th pick overall, 1945, Bobby Gage.
Wow.
Went 97 yards. from
That's
the-
a
little
household
before
name.
my
quit,
time.
quit after 2 years to be a manager in a textile plant. So that tells you the kind of money they was making in the NFL back then.
Yeah.
Well, Smoking
He
Jim,
went from the Pro Bowl to a textile.
you remember
manager.
Andy Russell, who's not in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
He was a financial guy
Yeah.
doing
in the
investments.
offseason, yeah.
Jack Ham was selling coal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Jack Ham used to, he and his wife used to live down here in Swickley.
Yeah.
And over
Guess
in,
what?
Over in
I'll tell you a story on that.
Over
Yeah.
in Coriopolis was a bar that I would work a couple of odd nights in. It was a real nice restaurant. It was a young chef that was just making a name for himself, and he he had impressed Jack Hammond. And Jack Hammond and his wife would come in,
Nice.
For dinner occasionally.
Yeah.
And I remember mixing him. He liked the way I mixed his martinis.
Whoa.
That's good.
Chipper has some skills.
All right.
Well, here's my little story about Jack Ham. My ex-wife had relatives, and her cousin married a very rich guy that was with a law firm, Reed Smith, Shaw, and McClay. And he had to put a house in the 70s when there were gas issues. He was so rich, he contacted People's Gas, and they put in 100 or 200 feet of gas pipeline in there.
Really?
He had a huge house, looked like it was a mansion. He had a spare garage, 6-car garage with
Jack
apartments. No, next to Jack Ham, my ex-wife's cousin.
Okay.
And they got Italian gravel, and they go, you know who our neighbor is? It's like a quarter mile away. And I'm like, yeah, down in that valley. They go, that's Jack Ham's house.
You know the surprising thing is Jack Ham, the great Jack Ham and Jack Lambert, it's not as good as T.J. Watt.
I got to take all bets.
So to end on a bang, okay, one thing we didn't touch on is the state of the Pittsburgh Penguins right now.
Right, what's going on there?
And the Penguins, I believe that the wheels need to be reattached to the bus because they have lost 8 games this year where they had a lead of a minimum of like 2 to 3 goals and more and lost. Okay?
Yeah.
Which is definitely not a pattern that you want to follow if you want to be able to. So tonight, Tristan Jarry makes his return to Pittsburgh as an Edmonton Oiler. Okay, and the Penguins wrap up a 5-game homestand.
Yeah.
And the Penguins have a lot of work to do, and there's talk that the 2 guys that the Penguins traded for Jarry could end up being pieces that they traded somewhere else to get something more of what they're looking for.
What time are we looking at?
I think I've watched a lot of those games where they blew. We got a minute. I've watched a lot of those games where they've blown it, and I've always said hockey goals, 75% of them are serendipitous. They bounce off of someone.
Whoa, I like that.
That's just the nature of it.
Serendipity tonight.
And a lot of these, that game against
Hold it.
Utah
What happened with the 5-goal lead?
They were bounces.
What happened
They were
with
bounces
the
here. They were
5-goal
I
bounces
lead?
remember
there,
watching a
and I don't
video
think they
the last
collapsed.
game
I think it's been
where,
bad luck.
where Letang was doing pirouettes as a guy skated around him. And
Hey, we're
They've
getting
been doing that
close.
for 20 years.
We're getting close
They
to
don't
end
feel
it.
like correcting that.
Paul Haley said, congratulations to Michael and Linda as BPTV Volunteer Award winners, plus the others who did. And Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, for winning 8 PSL awards.
All right.
Bob Beers is watching. Are we done?
Oh, we're done.
10 seconds. Please stay Joey strong. You're supposed to give me a 10-second countdown.